Well, hello again. It's Warren and Sonia, and we're out this Sunday to have a look at botanical gardens near where we live. Now, we've just arrived here and I'm looking around. This place here is definitely not Farang friendly. There's virtually no information I've seen in the last 5 minutes that has in English of the botanical gardens, but the place looks very well done, and we'll take you around here. The name is what? What's the name?
Siri Lukachat.
Siri Lukachat. Right, it's near. It's near the university up near Puttamonton, which we've taken you there before. We'll leave a link in the description. So if you want to navigate your way out here and have a look yourself, then well and good. But another thing we're going to do today is we've had a lot of comments or a lot of questions about Sonia. And so as we take a look around here, we'll give you a bit of a background history of her life up until the time we met. Because a lot of people have been asking about that, so we thought we might just throw that in as a bit of a commentary as we look around, because it's a very scenic place. So let's have a little chat as we go. Yes?
Yeah.
Yeah? You shy? A little bit shy. She never really talks about her past. Over the last 8 years, I've been able to get enough information to put together a bit of a timeline, which makes sense to me, and it makes me very happy to know that, you know, like who I'm with has definitely sort of had a tough life in some respects, but she's also had a very joyful life. Anyway, now we're going to cross to the intro, and we'll see you in a minute. So this is the first part of the information centre here. As you can see, there's a lot of information here with very little English. So I would suggest finding a tour guide like a Thai national to do some translations for you. Yes. Which one you, darling? Wisdom of the East. You have big iPad now.
Yeah, you can see.
Yeah.
My iPad.
Your iPad.
Yeah.
Can you make calls?
Yeah.
You sure? Darling, you ding dong. Oh my gosh, she has something to want to do face. What's this one here? Do selfie. Big selfie. Oh, look. Oh, looks so beautiful. Yes. Okay, take photo. Okay, I press for you.
Wait first.
Wait, okay. Now? Okay. Quick. 3, 2, 1.
Wow. Okay.
I'm just looking at the sky behind us. We've got some dark clouds brewing up. I don't know whether we're going to get any rain or not. If so, well, we'll probably have to duck inside somewhere, won't we? Yeah, so there's no entry fee, it's just the botanical gardens. Not much information in the way of English information. All the plants seem to be sort of named botanically correct. I wouldn't really know, of course, I'm not a gardener. but I'm not sure what there is to see here, but it's a nice, relaxing, quiet place. Looks like very well maintained. And she's found something to look at here. What are you looking at, darling? The place itself looks very new, like this building here, there's nothing in it. It looks like it's only just been freshly built. So again, not enough information to really give you guys anything to go on, but you know, if you're just looking for an afternoon out to just stroll around the park, this might be a nice place to just sit out and veg out. I know most of the places I tend to take you get very noisy. There's a bit of a change, a bit of a step in the other direction. It's a bit too quiet. I guess they're going to be putting some sort of exhibits over here. So mangroves. I don't know what you call them mangroves, but yeah, sorry guys, I'm not a botanical person, so you know, my terminology might be completely right off kilter. I'm guessing that this place is actually part of the university next door. What was the name of the university? The
Mahalai Mahidol.
Mahidol University.
Salaya.
Mahidol City University Salaya. So it's one of the Thai universities. And it looks like this is like an extension of it because it's actually on the university. You've got to actually go into the university grounds to get to this place. So it may be just some sort of extension of the university. Look, don't really just hold me to that. I really don't know, but you know, I tend to interpret a lot of things I see logically. Anyway, so like we'll just take, you know, the 5 to 10 minutes just giving you Sonia's story. And as she's a bit shy and doesn't have a really good command of English, I'll sort of give you the basic rundown and she'll just nod in agreement, or she might just want to say something about it, eh? You still love me, darling?
Yep.
Yeah. Hopefully they got the volume right, then you got so much background noise, because it really is an interesting story. So her story really starts at about the age of 3 is the first recollection that she has in her life. There, you know, she had an older brother, and we've got some wind blowing the camera around the place. So she's got an older brother who's 2 years older, and she's got a younger brother who's sort of 7, he's 19 now. How old Ben now? 19?
Ben 18.
18. So the younger brother is 13 years or 15 years younger. So she's the middle child, and at about the age of 3, she remembers that she was attracted to playing with dolls, whereas B, which is her older brother, was playing with you know, cars and trucks. That was her first recollection in her memory. Is that right? Right?
Yep.
Sort of, yeah. It was always taken the fact that she's always felt that she was a girl. Genetically, that wasn't the case, but that's how it really pans out. In Western culture, we have a psychological name for this. It's called gender dysphoria. But as you know, as me and my ideas of Western society, I think they're totally all screwed up most of the time. And everybody just likes to put people into boxes. This one here called gender dysphoria is something that is not really well understood. They want to put you in a box and sort of lock away the key so that you can't be a real person. If you feel that you are in a boy in a girl's body, is that really any reason for a third party who has no idea of your life to intervene and get involved in your life and say, no, you must be this, no, you must be that? This is where we've got the Western culture completely all wrong, right? And this is why we have a very high predominance in Thailand of what we call transgender. That is the tomboy and the ladyboy and the tomboy. So the tomboys is the girls that feel like they're boys, and the ladyboys are the boys that feel like they're girls. These are the two common terms that are socially acceptable in their society. You'll find a lot of reference to the word katoi. This is more of a derogative term. It's like in the West, we would sort of say transgender to be sort of speaking the right terminology. But if you really wanted to be derogatory, you would sort of call her a she-male. She-male has a very much a sexual connotation in the porn industry, and it's really not socially acceptable to call anybody in a transgender environment a she-male, because it's just totally, it's like, well, I don't even want to go into the discussion. But anyway, so she grew up, when the boys were doing the boy thing, she would sit in the kitchen with mother. She would do the washing, she would do the ironing, she would do all the things that the girls would do in the house. Of course, this became a bit of a problem in her life when she got to about the age of, actually no, before that. So around about the age of 12, I think you said 12 years old, you were saying, when you started taking hormone?
Hormone 12.
Yeah, 12.
Yep.
12 when she started taking hormones. And this is another thing in Western society. Well, I can only really speak from Australia, and I do know a number of transgender people in Australia, and they go through some really challenging processes just to obtain the estrogen, which is fundamental to the transitioning process. In Thailand, you can actually go and buy this stuff over the counter. No questions asked. You just go to the pharmacy, and what's the estrogen? What do you call the one you take? Estrogen. Name pharmacy.
Pharmacy name Yakum.
Yakum. I think I've seen it's a yellow packet that says it's just basic. It's a straight out estrogen supplement, 600 to 500 milligrams. Now she doesn't take that regularly. She takes that when she feels the need. It has a process of softening the skin and making the hair shine and a few other things, and makes her glow. She's always glowing. You're always glowing, darling. Yeah. But in the Western society, you have to go to see a doctor or a psychologist and basically give out your heart and soul, convince them the fact that you want to transition from male to female. Again, if you're a female wanting to transition to a male process, you have to sort of, really sort of get quite boisterous to convince the doctor the fact that you feel like you are male, and then you would get the testosterone supplements. And it really is quite an ordeal. They want to change you. They don't sort of take it as guaranteed that you feel that psychologically or mentally or you appreciate the world through a particular framework of being male or female, and this is one of the biggest problems. You've got to go through this, all this red tape, especially in Australia, just to obtain these supplements. So it's very challenging to start that transitioning process at an early age. And again, sort of 12 years old, she can get it over the counter here. This doesn't even need parental consent. She can just start taking it. Anyway, so that's really sort of where she started transitioning. So she's never actually gone through a puberty as well. So as you can notice here, sort of, there's virtually no sign of the Adam's apple, and she hasn't had an operation for that. And what else is there? So moving along. So this is where we're talking about the problems we've had now in a family society in Thailand. Now there's a number of different videos that other people have put up about cultural aspects of Thailand, but in Thailand there is the family comes first, right? And it is expected of the family to be very supportive of the family unit. And so if you're male, you're expected to go out and work around about the age of 15, right? And depending on your level of education, and obviously, you know, your financial background would depend whether you were going to university, which is accepted, or you go out into, you know, blue collar work and work in, you know, job sites, driving jobs or whatever. Right. So when she turned 15, there was a bit of a rift in the family because those sort of vocations are just not something she was really in a position to do. So she actually moved out of home and went to live in the temple for 3 years. Towards the end of those 3 years, she started, 2 years into the temple sort of thing, she would work in the temple as a kitchen hand and help the monks with their daily chores. And then from that point, I think it was about 17 years old, that's when you started to do the dancing, was it? 17, yeah. So that's where she started to work in the cabaret dancing. Now, again, in Western society and what we understand of the Thai culture here, and we're so ingrained with the Pattaya and the Phuket and all these less than reputable, you know, social venues where a cabaret dancing is directly associated with the sex industry. Well, unfortunately, that's the very minority of the situation. Cabaret dancing for a transgender is one of the main vocations that a transitioning girl or transitioning boy to girl would take up as a job, because it's a very popular sort of pastime. So they would join a crew, and from about the age of 17, she started working every day, and she was dancing every day, and she was making a good living. This is the interesting part: is the fact that she started sending money to the family to support the family, which started to smooth through some of the rifts in the family. It also, she started to save some money, and she had her first breast augmentation done at the age of 17. And that cost her 45,000 baht. I think the price is still roughly about the same, isn't it? About 45,000 baht to have a breast augmentation. I know I redid them when I first came here. Like they were a B cup or 250 cc, and they'd been in for 10 years. So they do recommend in the medical terms that they should be changed every 10 years, just to obviously have the minimum amount of problems with them. But so from the age of 17, she was already developing breasts with the hormones. So she started. She had the breast augmentation, and that really sort of helped her become more popular in the dancing arena, because that's one of the things, like these dancing crew, they're hired by, I think we have the term like wedding singers, is like an Australian or a Western culture term. Well, they have cabaret dancers at weddings and social events. This is like, you would hire a crew to come in to entertain your, extended family for half an hour to an hour in your event. And these are quite lucrative little things to do. And if you're doing this every day of the week, you start to get a fair bit of cash. Like this, they might make about 300 baht per person for the evening for the event, plus they get to split the tips as well. And
Yep.
And if you've got the augmented breast, you get a bit more tips than the girls that don't. So, is that right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So moving along. So I don't want to have you turning off and going to somebody else's channel. So, of course, by the age of 18, this obviously started to present a bit of a problem, because she was bringing more money into the home than her older brother. So that sort of smoothed through the rift in the family, and by the age of 19, then she moved back home, where everything sort of all, it was accepted that she was, in that Ladyboy and they accepted her for being a ladyboy, and the family, and I'm not just talking about direct family, I'm talking about the extended family. This 200 to 300 people accepted who she was because she's making money. Now we talk about this a lot as well, like in Thai society, there is family comes first, but the one thing the family needs, they need money, right? So money talks, right? And if you're bringing more than the older brother into the family to support the family, well, you'll have a higher social ranking in the family as well. And this obviously helps smooth through some of those little processes. Is that right? Anyhow, so another thing, so then of course you get around to the age of 20. Now, in Thai society, this is another thing we don't see many videos, they have what they call conscription. Right, so now I've seen some numbers, like in some provinces, this could be as low as 1 in 3 males at the age of 20 will be conscripted. They go through a ballot process where there's a black and red card, depending on how many people they need for the ranks for the April induction. They will have so many red cards and so many black cards for the males, and they basically put their hand in a bucket and pull out a card. If they get the black card, then they can walk away, no problem. If they get the red card, well, they're going to serve for 2 years. There is like 2 ways to get out of this. One is you can bribe somebody, which if you're in the lower class societies is quite expensive and you don't really have that sort of cash. The second way is you can actually decide to be in the army, which means that then you will serve for 6 months instead of the 2 years. Right, so you can voluntarily join, pay a bribe, or you go to the ballot. Of course, there is a fourth way out as well. When they do the medical, well, guess what? If you've got breasts, join that queue. They don't want to know. So she dodged that bullet in there. Now, we want to sort of make that sort of point because, right, she didn't become a ladyboy just to dodge the draft. Right, she started to become a ladyboy when she was 3 years old, which she had no idea or concept of the draft. Right. And this is just one of those bonuses, that the hardships she went through, this is one of the benefits that you actually got for her decisions. So that was when she was 20, so she missed the draft, so she didn't have to go and do that. And she kept on working every day, and she's been very hard worker and always wanted to sort of do and be the best at whatever she wanted to do. And she'd then sort of, by the age of 23, she'd saved up enough money to have the full gender reassignment. Now the gender reassignment, I think, was it 110,000 baht? 120,000? 120,000 baht. I think the price is still pretty much relative. That was done, 10 years ago. But the price has pretty much stayed relative. This is again getting into the sort of Thai medical sort of area. You wanted to get that done in America or Australia, you'd be looking at $20,000, $30,000. Whereas in Thailand, of course, 120,000 baht. What's that? $5,000 Australian, something like that. So she'd saved up that money herself, right, through her job, and she went through that very invasive medical procedure to be the girl she's always wanted to be.
Yep.
Right, which also had a downside as well. She wanted to be a female. Her boyfriend at the time was a Japanese expat. He didn't like the whole idea of her having the operation, but hey, that was her choice. It wasn't his choice, and so they eventually sort of drifted apart and broke up. And then 24 years old, she was in Bangkok with her friends one evening. She was a little bit drunk, I was a little bit drunk. I noticed this very...
drunk and walk around, see...
She see me, I turn around, I see her, I see a very tall girl.
Yeah.
Right, and this is obviously one of the things, Thai girls tend to be very short. So if you see a tall Thai girl, there's about 80%, like when I say tall, like 5'6" or above, chances are she's a ladyboy. Even if you can't tell she's a ladyboy, if she's over 5'6",
guess what? There's a 95% chance that she'll be a ladyboy. One of the first telltale signs. But anyway, I recognised that, and I looked at her and I'm going, "Oh my God, you're beautiful."
Yes, I know myself.
Yes, she knows this.
But I see him before him look like Jack Sparrow, long hair.
Long hair,
have
beard.
Oh my God.
Look like Jack Sparrow.
Yeah, just Sparrow.
Yeah, I know. I'm a pirate.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I play Eve, right?
And
I'm a pirate in Eve, right? And we're about to play Star Citizen. I'm also going to be a pirate in Star Citizen. I'm a pirate. She just doesn't like the beard. That's why I had to take the beard off. Anyway, so that's pretty much the story up to the day we met. And we may do a follow-on video just on what we did after we met. Because that was quite a comedy as well. Like, she thought that I didn't know that she was Ladyboy. And that went on for about 6 months, and it was quite funny. I think I had 3 visits, and it all came to light when I tried to get her a visa to come to Australia. I think my third visit after meeting her, we were going through the process of trying to get her visa. She was very embarrassed to really. I had to do this for a friend because I couldn't run the gauntlet of the whole visa process, so I had to get a friend of mine who's an expat in Thailand. He had to get involved. So he then called her. He then sort of called me up, and she said she's really concerned about one thing. And I go, well, she wants to tell me she's a ladyboy. She says, yeah, but she doesn't think you know about that. I'm going, it's all right. Just organise the visa. Yeah, right. And then we'll take it from there. So then she came to Australia. But we'll talk about more of that. There's plenty of videos of her trips to Australia. She's now worldly travelled. She knows she's had a taste of Australia. She just doesn't like the cold. Anyway, so we're going to continue to a bit of a walk around here and just take a look at the scenery. Yeah. And we'll catch up with you shortly. Clip, clip, clip. Here you want. She likes to wear heels all the time. Oh my God. How you think you model? When you going to go in for Miss Universe, darling? Ready, clap. What I need is a drone, darling. I need a drone. And put the drone up here. Can photo us when we're together. You think? Drone very expensive.
Yes.
I don't have money for drone. I can barely fly a virtual spaceship. I don't think I can fly a drone. And you think Westerners are bad for the whole selfie thing. Thai girls cannot put the camera down. I'm sorry. It's something you'll have to get used to. She hungry now. Time for it.
Now? You can see time now. Okay, stop. And you see time first.
1 p.m.
1 p.m.
She hungry so much.
In the morning, not eat anything because him not take me eat.
Yeah, but you're on diet. You have diet. You want diet.
Now I die.
No. Diet. Not die. Diet.
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 You want me diet?
You tell me you think you fat.
Okay, I want 45 kilo
You want 45 kilo? Okay.
Yeah.
Not eat for 1 week.
for 1 month.
One week or not eat.
Okay.
Water only. Okay.
Okay.
So no eat. Ding dong. Anyway, look, I'm going to close this vlog now.
Oh my
It's a
God.
nice place to wander around if it's not too hot. As I said, it's an overcast day today, so it's fairly cool. But you know, when I say cool, it's Bangkok cool. It's about 28, 29 degrees Celsius and about feels like about 80% humidity. But you know, I'm no barometer, so I've just got a fairly good feeling for these things. Anyway, so we'll catch up with you. Next video, I guess. So don't forget, like, subscribe, share, share it with your friends. Again, this is in keeping with our whole theme of, you know, giving an idea of what it's really like to live in Thailand, and especially what it's like from a foreign point of view to be engaged, to be married to a very, very lovely ladyboy.
Not forget lights,
What?
light sky, light far.
The sky? What?
Yep.
Oh,
Top sky.
like, yes. And not forget to like.
Like.
Don't forget to like.
Okay.
Share with your friends.
Like.
I love her so much. Okay, bye for now.
See you. Bye bye.